So, wir haben heute natürlich das Rennen in Monaco auf dem Speiseplan. Allerdings haben wir zwei Vorspeisen dazu. Und zwar noch den Williams Car Launch. Ich weiß nie, wie ich das nennen soll, keine Ahnung. Die Präsentation von Williams über das neue Auto und die neue Saison. Und die Präsentation die mich noch viel mehr interessiert, von Sauber, dem neuen Auto für die neue Saison und halt dem neuen Team, dann, was man ja so sagen kann. Ich hab's tatsächlich geschafft. Ich hätte es nicht gedacht. Die Präsentationen liefen gestern schon beide. Wir schauen uns die heute im Nachhinein nochmal an und reacten so drauf. Wer das jetzt nicht sehen möchte, sondern den Monaco Grand Prix, der kann später dann auf YouTube einfach durch diese Kapitelfunktion, die YouTube hat, einfach vorspringen. Überspringt den Quatsch hier und dann, ne. Wer jetzt live mit dabei ist, muss jetzt live mit dabei sein. Habt ihr jetzt Pech gehabt. Auf jeden Fall schauen wir uns die beiden Streams an. Das sind einmal 26 Minuten und einmal hier 70 Minuten, aber hier ist auch noch die Hälfte Coverage Starts Soon. Also ich denke mal, ein Stündchen werden wir jetzt erstmal hier sitzen und uns den geilen Shit geben. Ich bin am meisten natürlich gespannt auf den Sauber. Ich habe es geschafft, mich tatsächlich den ganzen Tag über, weil die Präsentationen liefen gestern, ich habe mich tatsächlich geschafft, den ganzen Tag über nicht zu spoilern. Und das finde ich unfassbar geil. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was mich erwartet. Ich meine, dass der Sauber grün werden wird, das wissen wir alle. Und dann haben wir nämlich ein klitzekleines Problemchen, weil der wird dann natürlich auch in F1 24 später grün werden. Und wir sind eigentlich grün in der MyTeam-Karriere, deswegen wird es da wahrscheinlich eine kleine Umstrukturierung dann geben. Ich hatte überlegt, die Karriere an dem Zeitpunkt komplett zu beenden. Aber irgendwie ist es noch zu wenig, weißt du? Also schon noch weiterzumachen, aber mit in einem anderen Universum dann so gesehen. Aber das dann. Irgendwie bin ich von der Idee noch nicht so überzeugt. Ich glaube, das werden wir auch nicht. Ich glaube, eher machen wir eine kleine Umstrukturierung des Teams, dass wir da eher die Farben ändern. Ja. Ne? Kann man so sagen. Dann würde ich sagen, starten wir einfach mit dem Livestream von Williams. Der lief, glaube ich, gestern um 15 Uhr oder so. Schauen einfach rein, ich lasse mich überraschen. Gucken wir einfach. Lautstärke machen wir mal auf so.
Williams' place in the history books. That's guaranteed.
Gibt's übrigens, die ganze Präsentation ist auf YouTube unter dem Video verlinkt. Zum Nachgucken. Ich könnte die jetzt auch irgendwie im Chat anpinnen, aber ich habe keine Ahnung. Bin ich ehrlich. Dass einer von den Mods weiß, dann bitte rein damit, aber ich habe keine Ahnung wie. Das ist natürlich auch jetzt unser neues Arbeitsgerät, ne, für die Fahrerkarriere. Insofern wir bis zum 2024 spielen, also bis F1 24 noch bei Williams sind in der Fahrerkarriere, das, ne.
That looks insane.
Super cool. This is our time, your time. Our greatest races are yet to come. History made, history in the making.
Williams ist halt schon das Team so mit der größten Vergangenheit, ne, wenn wir mal ehrlich sind.
Now Williams is a team which needs very little introduction. After all, it is one of the most successful in the rich, storied, 75-year history of the Formula One World Championship. Today, Williams is a team very much on the rise, with its stated aim being to return itself to the sharp end of competition in this most competitive of sports. Now, a new season represents a new chapter for any team, and we're going to be focusing on that today. So let's take a little look at what's coming up. We'll catch up with Williams racing drivers Alex Albon and Logan Sargent. Check in with this year's Academy drivers who are all looking to follow in the footsteps of Williams legends of the past. Team principal James Vowles looks back over his first 12 months leading the squad and looks ahead to what we can expect this year.
Hat Mick abgelehnt.
And of course, today is all about getting that first sight of the new look Williams 2024 livery.
Ja, bitte. I mean, wird blau sein, das wissen wir, ne? Aber
about racing, and at the heart of that racing story are the team's racing cars. We know why you're all here, so let's not waste another second. It's time to take a first look at the 2024 Williams Racing livery.
Oh, ach so, echt jetzt schon? Okay, give it to me. Das ist blau. Wussten wir. War nicht schwer. Ich kann die auch mal auf blau schalten gerade. Passend zum Setting. F. Okay, fast komplett weiße Overalls. Das ist schon mal richtig geil.
The FW46 livery sends the message of what Williams Racing is
Selbes
all
Auto?
about in 2024. Respecting the team's past, but creating a new, ultra-competitive future. The ever-evolving livery features a vibrant colour transition from new-era Williams to heritage navy blue. Back come the iconic red and white pinstripes around the nose, inspired by the historic Williams machines of the 1980s and 90s. No wonder that Komatsu are back as a partner for the first time since the 1990s. They join MyProtein, Gulf Oil, Duracell, Kraken, Stevens, Puma, and Vast Data, amongst others, on this iconic team's journey back to the top.
Jetzt hat wieder die Batteriekarre, ne? Das bait sich jetzt selber Livery fast.
And I've been joined by 2024 Williams Racing drivers.
Aber einmal ganz kurz zum Livery. Es ist halt dasselbe Livery, wie schon gesagt, wir haben jetzt einen anderen Blauton. Ohohoho. Wir haben, glaube ich, weniger Blautöne. Ich glaube, wir hatten so 3, 4 letzte Saison. Und jetzt haben wir halt hier so 1, 2, keine Ahnung. Der ist eher matt, der Wagen. Nicht so krass glänzend. Was ich ein bisschen schade finde, weil glänzend ist immer edel, ne? Ansonsten ist es halt die klassische Batteriekarre, ne? Also, was willst du sagen? Die Batterien auf dem Halo haben wir nicht, obwohl das hier so aussieht, keine Ahnung. Ja, okay, jetzt hat dasselbe Auto basically.
Alex Albon and Logan Sargent. Guys, how about this new livery?
Looks great. I love it. I think subtly evolved over last year. Got a few more sponsors on, which is always good. It looks clean.
Blue.
Blue. But blue was to be expected.
Ja, danke. Habe ich auch schon gesagt. Aber ich finde die Overalls sehr schnieke. Ja, gut. Weiß ich nicht. Ob dieser... Ich werde ein bisschen Blaumuster reinbringen, aber ob da ein weißer Streifen am Rand, weiß ich nicht. Ist nicht so meins, aber... Blau ist schick. Blau ist schick. Weiß ist schick. Meine Fresse.
I have to say. If it was anything other than blue, I would have been worried.
I agree. I think it looks really good. Clean, and normally clean means fast, so...
We'll go with that.
Hopefully we'll make that happen.
Alex, you had an outstanding year in 2023, and you've personally noted you believe it was your best season ever in Formula One. What are your reflections on last year?
Thank you, first of all. I would say more than anything, a little bit more confidence, a bit more experience. It always goes a long way. And more chemistry with the team. That first year is more about, learning the team, learning what the car's like. They've got to learn what you're like. And then that second year, it starts flowing a little bit better. Hopefully there's more of that, looking over from last year, looking at areas to improve for this year. There's always opportunities to improve, and then also trying to understand what this new car is going to be like. I think it's going to be such a big difference in driving styles than just generally, hopefully, performance. Let's see.
Logan, Formula One is, I think, inarguably never been more difficult for rookie drivers to come in, but your progression was astounding. What did you learn through 2023, and how did you change your approach throughout the season and into this?
I think for me, just to have had a year under my belt now, all the things I've learned, made steps forward throughout the season, now have a reference for everywhere I'm going to go is such a huge advantage going into my second year. And I think, Alex touched on it, this car is going to be very different to last year, and it's important to get on top of that as quickly as we can. But I think having that break in the off season to really sort of get myself in the right place physically, mentally, emotionally, start to reflect on, the places I could have been, a lot better last year to ultimately make that step that I know I can make, and hopefully leave us in a good position for 2024.
What are your expectations of the 46, and is it a car that suits your driving style? Are you going to have to adapt yourself to it?
Yeah, for sure. The driving style will need a change, but I think we're already starting to do that on the simulator, and it feels like a nicer car to drive.
Alex, I know you mentioned a lot last year the predictability of the car. How did you find driving last year's car, but then also having to develop this year's car in the sim, and your expectations of that, again, like Logan, for this season?
It was tricky actually last year because we were so focused on the championship to try and finish P7, so we couldn't let it go too much, in terms of sim work, too much into this year because we still wanted that P7. So it was split, and of course, as the year went on, we started to really almost only focus on the 46 car. But we've got some great simulator drivers as well who are doing a lot of the background work, and every time we've been jumping in since Christmas, seeing and ticking along and seeing the progression of the car, it's been really fascinating to see. We don't really know until we hit the ground in Bahrain, but generally it's been a good car to drive.
It's impossible to say now. I know we're not at testing yet. You haven't driven the car for real. But Logan, Alex, have the team set any objectives for the year? Have you set yourself any personal objectives for the year?
I think personally the objectives honestly always stay quite similar. It's going to be about, of course, taking a step forward for myself, but at the same time just maximizing the package, being more consistent, and trying to do that for the duration of the season.
Yeah, there's a couple of things personally speaking I want to try and improve going into this year. I think every driver is. There's always room for improvement somewhere. And then for the team, it's just to wait and see. I feel like every team's going to make a big step. Everyone talks about numbers and how many points they've added on and how much quicker they are from last year. It's all comparative. So let's see how we fare against everyone else. But we've definitely done a good job. I don't want to talk a big game too early, but let's see.
For both of you guys, James Vowles has now been at the team a little under a year. How do you feel the team has progressed under his leadership, and you both as drivers? How much have you been able to draw from him as a team principal?
I would say, first of all, I don't want to put pressure on James, but it is his first year where he's really taken control, and you can really see that. I think over the last 4 or 5 years, there's been an inherent way that the team and the car's been designed, and I think this year there's been quite a big divergence to that. I think that's why you're hearing us talk about the car being so different. We're taking more risk, and we're trying to get away from our old ways, old habits. So it's definitely the right thing we're doing. And
Rein für ein Team wie Williams ist mehr Risiko gehen natürlich wichtig, um eventuell halt schneller sein zu können, ne? Also die haben im Zweifel nichts zu verlieren. Außer halt natürlich einen ganzen Arsch voll Kohle, aber das haben sie die ganzen letzten Jahre auch verloren. Aber die kannst im Zweifel nur weiter nach oben gehen, eigentlich. Klar, gibt's immer noch Teams, die schlechter sind, ne? Kennen wir. Aber trotzdem. Die können dann noch zumindest das, was ihnen gegeben wird, noch ein bisschen risikofreudiger aufbrauchen. Sieht man, warum der Mann hier einen F1-Sitz hat. Daran sieht man das, ja. Obwohl der Mann hier auch einen ganzen Arsch voll Kohle mitbringt. Beziehungsweise seine Sponsoren.
Betting, seeing if it's going to work out okay.
Yeah, I think it's been great to see. I think, as Alex said, he's definitely put stress on the system, and I think in the end of the day, that's how you grow as a whole and as a team. And personally speaking, he's been great to work with for the past year, and I really feel like I can see the team more motivated than ever to keep improving and get back to the front.
Lovely stuff. Best of luck to you both in 2024. Now, as these guys mentioned, one of the most positive and I think talked about news stories in 2023 was the appointment of James Vowles as team principal here at Williams Racing. And back in December, we caught up with him at the team's
irgendwie verliert Mercedes alle seine Top-Mitarbeiter mittlerweile.
First year.
Williams Racing have just announced that James Vowles will be their new team principal.
The main emotion I remember is one of pride. This is everything. It's my hobby, it's my passion, it's my life. This job represents
Valtteri, this is James.
It's me as an individual. I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. Wake up in the middle of the night and make notes about
James, this is Valtteri. Fuck you.
it. I came from Mercedes, which has really everything you could possibly want, and then some, to Williams, which is driven by an amount of passion that drives me even now when I speak about it. It's a racing organisation, but without some of the infrastructure, a lot of the infrastructure, in fact, that I was used to. Williams as an organisation wants to be back at the front. It knows the legacy that's powered it. If you walk around the factory, it won't take you long before you come across 10, 20 individuals that will tell you their life story, and you realise how interconnected it is with Williams. The challenge I set out was, first and foremost, let's do our utmost to actually unlock a little bit more money for this team to move forward. The second was, let's try and capture some of the low-hanging fruit of perhaps what we're not getting the most out of this package with at the moment. Everything else was about, how do we move this team large chunks forward in 24, 25, 26? How far do we push the boundaries of what we're doing without hopefully breaking the system to the point where we get ourselves in trouble? And it's finding that right balance, and that's the journey we're on today. I remember still walking into the pit wall just before qualifying and having a chat to the team at the time. They said, just prepare yourself. It's tough when you see that you're struggling to get out of Q1. And I was more optimistic than that, but they gave me the preparations for it. When obviously we did far more than that, and not just that race, from those races onwards. This year was actually about just pure fundamentals, get it right, and you can pick off a point that's available to you here and there. And about halfway through the year, just...
Ich fand das hellblaue mit dem orangenen Gulf, dieses Gulf-Livery halt, das fand ich auch enorm cool. Das fand ich schon geil auf dem McLaren, den das Jahr oder davor das Jahr in Monaco gefahren wurde. Das fand ich auch schon Killer. Das fand ich auch, sah richtig geil aus.
Race after race, we started to deliver points. If I had to pick a highlight, it would be Silverstone, when we finished 7th with a queue of cars behind us. But a home Grand Prix with the livery on the car, with Alex doing a brilliant job, the team doing a brilliant job, everyone just delivering where they had to in front of a home crowd that was cheering in the background. That sort of memory, I hope, will stay with me for the rest of my life. Everyone can look back and be proud of what we've achieved in the last 12 months, because it is a large achievement. It may not seem it on the outset, but it's the start of our journey together. And more importantly, the outside world reflects on Williams not in the same way as for the last 5 years, which is they're just here to participate. They're here as a serious competitor that want to move up the grid relative to everyone else. They're investing in the right areas. It's a change in momentum, a change in guard. They just reflect back and just look with pride of where we've moved from and where we are today.
And now James Vowles joins me in the studio.
Aber du siehst auch hier wieder natürlich dasselbe, wie das schon bei dem was hat man jetzt bei dem Haas, dass das Auto auch wieder an Farbe verloren hat. Also ich weiß es nicht, aber ich würde mal schätzen, dunkle Farbe ist schwerer als helle Farbe. Jetzt verstehe ich den Schritt nicht ganz, dass man in etwas Dunkleres gegangen ist. Also ich würde jetzt einfach mal schätzen, ich bin kein Maler Lackierer, aber ich würde einfach mal schätzen, dass dunkle Farbe schwerer ist als helle Farbe. Was das Ganze wieder nicht so viel Sinn macht, aber das ist ja egal. Aber man sieht auch wieder hier dran, dass der Wagen einfach viel weniger Lack wieder bekommen hat. Ich finde es schade, aber es ist natürlich logisch irgendwo. Deshalb bin ich mal sehr gespannt, wie viel Grün nachher der Sauber bekommen wird.
Studio James Vowles.
Ich hab es mit mir selbst vereinbart, dass ich ihn einfach Sauber nenne. Ich werde nicht Steak F1 irgendeine Kacke sagen. Ich nenne ihn Sauber. Also, ja.
Welcome.
I will.
We've just watched you reflect back over 12 months with the Williams racing team. But looking to the present, tell us what you think about the FW46 livery and your first team launch here at Williams.
I'm really proud of what the team has done in a number of aspects. First and foremost, look at the car 12 months ago and look at the car today. Look at the amount of top brand sponsors that are on the journey with us. And that for me is a real boon and a suggestion of direction of travel that we're in. The second element of things is when I look at the livery, it's sort of got this really nice progression between the blues, which for me signifies where we have been and where we're going. It's got a nod, which is subtle in there, but you will see it back to Frank and back to our history. It contains for me the history of what the team is, as signifying elements of where we're going, and then just really some top-class sponsors that are a part of our journey.
2023 was Williams Racing's best season since 2017, 7th in the Constructors' Championship, an amazing result. How do you plan on carrying that momentum through into 2024?
As harsh as it sounds, proud of what we've achieved, but 7th doesn't mean a tremendous amount to me. We've done a good job. Not a great job, we've done a good job. Here's what excellence looks like, and here's the gap that we've got to fulfill between those two. You're not going to do it in 1 year. That's simply.
Gut, natürlich, er ist ehrlich. Er sagt, wir sind bei weitem noch nicht da, wo wir hinwollen, aber es war ein guter Schritt. Man muss auch gerade in der Rolle selbstkritisch sein. Aber klar, ne, ist ja auch irgendwo logisch dann, ne, wenn man drüber nachdenkt. Die alle Profis hier, ne?
Just not possible, but we will get there. And we will get there because the perseverance, the belief, the passion is at the highest level I've ever seen. And that carries you through a tremendous amount.
What are you most looking forward to then in 2024?
I mean, right now, I can't wait for the sound, the smell, the feeling of when you stand behind the car and you watch it drive out the garage for the first time at Bahrain. The feeling is like none other. The significance of it is that you're taking about 12 months worth of work. That's what it is nowadays to start your design process and build your car. You're looking at that and you can sum it up in just a few seconds. That's the hard work of nearly 1,000 people being brought down to a few seconds. And that's what I'm looking forward to, being a part of that again.
Excellent stuff. The Williams Racing Driver Academy has been in full force. Can you talk us through the importance of the Academy and what it means for the future of the sport?
It means a tremendous amount to me because myself, I was a graduate, 25, 30 years ago, came up through the ranks. And when I watch it, young drivers are no different to that. They're individuals who will give you everything that they can. And if they're good enough, you feel almost like a father in regards to that because you've brought them up from 11 or 8 at the early age of things into Formula One. So it means a lot to me. Same for Williams. If you look at Williams and what we stand for creating an environment where we are bringing through new generations of individuals, be that into the engineering world or as a driver. And it's what I stand for, it's what our team stands for. What I really like is if you go up and down our ranks, all the way down into karting at the moment, we're starting to fill what I call the pyramid of motorsport, and we have really exciting talent all the way through. I'm excited by what the future brings.
James, thank you so much and best of luck for 2024. Now, as mentioned, Williams has always given young drivers their big break in the sport. And this year, the Williams Academy is bigger and better than ever, supporting drivers from grassroots level all the way through the motorsport ladder. So let's find out what one of the Academy's youngest is up to this season.
My name is Alexander Bondarev. I'm from Ukraine.
Ich dachte gerade, das wäre Oscar Piastri. What the fuck?
I was a big fan of moving cars since I was 3. So yeah, I think that's the main thing that got me into racing. Last year I was racing in karting also, but in the OKJ class. The year went great. I managed to win the World Championship with the Team KR. This year I moved to the OK Senior class. The speed we have is great. I already got 2 wins, so I think we have a very.
Ich muss mich mal gerade kurz sauber machen.
And I'm delighted to say that I have now been joined by Williams Racing driver, Indy NXT driver, and F1 Academy advisor. Did I get that all right? Brilliant stuff. Jamie Chadwick. Jamie, we've just seen 14-year-old Alexander, who, of course, has been competing at international level in karts. We all know how competitive and how important it is to start your career in karts, but also the importance of having the allyship of a Formula One team. How critical is that?
Absolutely, and I mean, I think seeing Williams getting involved in the junior ranks and now karting is fantastic to see. When I joined the academy, it was only me, and it kind of evolved and grew into more. But now to see how many drivers we have in the academy and like.
Just maximizing the package, being more consistent, and trying to do that for the duration.
Well, it's fundamental, and I think their career development is going to be massively benefited from that.
And the Williams Academy is growing by the day, by the week. Recent announcements that Alessandro Giusti has joined the program along with 13-year-old karter Sara Matsui, and they will be joining another driver who'll be making her debut in the F1 Academy Series in 2024.
I'm Leah Block, and I'm a Williams Racing Academy driver, and I'm racing in F1 Academy this year. Last year, I was racing in the US in Nitro Cross. I also raced karting.
Ex-Amerikanerin oder was?
Peak. I did the Baja 1000. My highlight of last year was winning the ARA Rally Championship in the US. It's something that I've been working towards for a couple of years now, and to get that done and dusted was really cool. This year I'm debuting in single-seaters. I've never raced this type of motorsport, so it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a big challenge, but I'm ready for it.
Jamie, as an F1 Academy advisor, I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about Leah and the huge job that really stands in front of her this season, the transition for her into single-seaters. What kind of a task lies in store for her?
It is a task, it is going to be a challenge, but I think what's great about Leah, she is young, she's very excited about the opportunity, and it's a huge opportunity that she has here with F1 Academy, so I'm really excited about it. I've worked with her a little bit so far, I've seen her in action in a rally car, and if that's anything to go by, I think she's going to be in a good place come the first race. My role is going to be particularly mentoring Leah. I feel like I've been through a little bit of what she's potentially going to go through this year, so I'm excited to sort of use a little bit of my experience to help her where I can, but also just enjoy watching what is going to be quite a revolutionary year for women in the sport.
Really hope it will be, absolutely. And of course, for the champions of F1 Academy, the hope to step up, to progress through the ladder, and the natural next step would be Formula 3. And let's see who will be representing Williams Racing in that championship.
Wo ich gerade eben den Hoonigan-Aufkleber auf dem Rallye-Auto von der Lia gesehen habe. Das ist aber nicht... Doch, das ist die Tochter von Ken Block. LOL, das ist mir gerade eingefallen. Cool. Ich finde es sehr gut, dass das gar nicht erwähnt wurde. Ich finde es wirklich gut. Das würde Mick auch ein bisschen mehr tun, wenn er nicht immer nur auf seinen Vater reduziert wird. Oder auf seinen Vater angehoben werden würde. Cool. Ich dachte schon, Amerikanerin, die heißt Block mit Nachnamen. Ich habe den Hoonigan-Aufkleber auf dem Auto gesehen. Oh, okay. Aber für die, die es nicht wissen, kein Block ist eine, nennen wir es mittlerweile wahrscheinlich amerikanische Rennfahrer-Legende, in Anführungszeichen. So ja, schon Rennfahrer, ne, ja. Und auch mit Tuning und so Autos und allem möglichen Zeug. Ein Rallye-Fahrer. Oder war es gewesen. Er ist leider verfrüht von uns gegangen. Lol, das ist seine Tochter. Okay, weil jetzt, ich dachte die ganze Zeit so, hey, der Nachname, du hast den Aufkleber gesehen? Nee, oder? Doch, warte mal, die ist Amerikanerin. Google das jetzt.
In 2024.
My name's Luke Browning. I'm a Williams Racing Academy driver, and this year I'll be racing for High-Tech in Formula 3. During the winter break, we ventured down to Middlesex University and we got put through our paces. After the couple of days were over, I needed some good sleep. I think I slept about 10 or 11 hours after that. My body was crying, but I feel really well prepared now. Being a member of the Williams Academy is the most special thing about my career. Having the opportunity to shoot for the stars, having the faith of both Jameses behind me. Everyone in Williams now has a vision and sees where it's going, and I want to be a part of that.
Jamie, F3 as a preparatory series is critical for a driver's development and hopes of making it to Formula 1. What are the unique challenges of that championship?
I think the tough thing about F3 is you almost need to be the finished product by the time you get there almost. There's not much room for development. You're going in at a really high level. You're racing on the F1 circus. You've got to prove yourself. You've got sort of a very short window to prove it. So looking at a lot of these drivers, they've got to come in and be on the money straight away almost.
And what do you think Luke's aims for 2024 will be? Is it a year of learning? Is it gunning for the title?
I think it has to be gunning for the title. I mean, he finished off the year last year winning Macau, which is something...
Das ist ja das Schöne an der Formel 3 und an der Formel 2. Da können halt auch einfach Rookies hinkommen und auch alteingesessene Veteranen in der Formel 2 einfach zerstören, einfach weil sie krasser sind. Das liebe ich halt an diesen Nachwuchsserien. Dass es halt wirklich einfach zu solchen Überraschungen kommen kann. Und wieso ist der Stream offline? In meinem Browser sind wir noch da? Hallo? Ja, anscheinend schon. Der Stream war bei mir gerade weg. Ich weiß nicht genau warum, aber wir machen weiter. Wo war ich? Das finde ich halt ist das Krasse in diesen Nachwuchsserien, dass echt die Autos same sind oder nahezu same oder gleich, ganz genau gleich. Ich weiß jetzt nicht genau, aber wahrscheinlich ziemlich gleich. Ne, das Team hat sich kurz neu gestartet. Ach nee. Achso. Dass die Autos halt genau gleich sind und dass es halt dadurch wirklich auf das Fahrerkönnen ankommt, das ist halt unfassbar geil. Und wenn ich mehr Zeit hätte, würde ich mir die Serien auch auf jeden Fall wieder angucken. Ja, Zeit ist leider nicht drin im Moment.
As a driver, I think everyone can dream of, and I take my hat off to him. It's an unbelievable achievement. But with that, I think comes the pressure of putting your name at the top of the list to try and win the title. So I wish him the best of luck in that.
Absolutely, and we all agree with that. F1, of course, is the ultimate goal of any racing driver, and the Williams Racing Driver Academy has 2 drivers tantalisingly close to the pinnacle of the sport. They will both be racing this year in the Formula 2 Championship.
I'm Zach O'Sullivan from the UK, and this year I'll be racing with ART GP in Formula 2. Last year I was racing in Formula 3, I finished second in the championship, so quite a successful season. Highlight from me last year, I would say, was competing in FP1 in Abu Dhabi with Williams. Any kind of opportunity you get to drive a modern F1 car is so special. So yeah, of course, thank you for Williams for that opportunity. This year I'm stepping up to F2, obviously a rookie year for me, a new car also for everyone in the championship. Not too sure what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm Franco Colapinto from Argentina, racing in FIA Formula 2. Last year I raced in Formula 3. It was a tough year at times, but I think we closed the year very well. The main highlight of last year was, of course, the testing the Formula 1 car. It's been such a long time since an Argentinian drove a Formula 1 car, 20 years or more than 20 years. For me to be the first one again, it was, I think, a very historic moment, not only for myself, but for the country as well.
Zach and Franco have joined Jamie and myself here in the studio. Guys, great to see you. I would ask you about the season ahead of you and the new car, but I know you've only run a couple of laps in a shakedown. So instead, I want to talk about F1, because you both got to run laps in an F1 car last year. How was that for both of you?
It was absolutely insane. You know, since I was 9 years old, when I started racing go-karts, my dream was one day to be able to drive a Formula 1 car. And to have achieved it already in my first year with Williams, we just started this journey. And to see that, you know, your dreams are becoming true, it motivates you a lot to continue pushing, to continue improving, and it's an absolute pleasure to be part of the team.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, not too dissimilar for me, really. I think rolling out of the garage, especially for me in FP1, was a dream come true, especially on the F1 weekend. Sharing the track with 19 other cars was super cool, but it's an experience I'll never forget, and one I really, really enjoyed.
And so for all 3 of you, in conclusion, how would you say this team has helped to supercharge your careers?
Like usually I joined the team back in 2019 and I definitely wouldn't be sat here or even in this position without them. So very lucky to be a part of the team, very lucky to stay part of the team, and yeah, exciting to see, you know, how it's evolved and what it's going to become.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be in this seat here today. I wouldn't be racing in Europe without Williams. So it's just amazing to be part of this process, and I hope we can continue for many more years together. We can continue building up a nice relationship. Of course, thank you for the trust of everyone at Williams, and let's keep doing a great job.
No, it means a huge amount, I think, as a British driver as well. Being with such a historic British team is a big pleasure, going into my 3rd year now with Williams. As Franco said, I think being involved with an F1 team, being integrated from quite a young age, gives you a goal, something to work to. And I think also from my side, you learn a massive amount working with F1 level people from quite early on.
Lovely stuff. Boys, best of luck this year in the very new look F2 cars, and Jamie's due in Indy NXT. Our best wishes go with you across the seas to America. And that, folks, pretty much brings us to the end of proceedings for our launch. Williams, the iconic Williams team, is ready to take it to the next level in 2024. But this is just the start of the journey for this year. This is history in the making. Williams Racing will keep you updated throughout the season on their social media channels. So make sure you follow @Williams Racing and do download the app. For now, goodbye.
Wir müssen dringend noch mal gucken. Das gucken wir gerade noch. Aber wir müssen dringend noch mal schauen, ob wir das Lenkrad irgendwo finden. In irgendeiner der Einstellungen. Ich will sehen, wie das Lenkrad aussieht. Ob die sich treu geblieben sind oder jetzt halt auch dann mal jetzt vielleicht wieder Neues, also, ne. das Display nicht im Chassis verbaut haben. Was ich bei der sehr cool finde. Das ist noch so ein bisschen oldschool, weißt du? Armaturenbrett-Lifestyle. Wir gucken da jetzt ganz in Ruhe nochmal nach. Gar nicht einstudiert, alles spontan. Yo! Ja, ne, also ich weiß ja nicht. Ich finde es, wie gesagt, schade. Ich habe hier mal gerade nebenbei so ein bisschen gesucht, während da gelabert wurde. Der Vergleich zwischen dem Auto 2024, 2023. Schade finde ich es, dass wir vom Glänzenden weggehen. Finde ich ein bisschen bitter. Ich stehe eigentlich auf glänzend. Zumindest wenn es die Primärfarbe. Also, ja, matt ist auch geil, aber bei Blau finde ich halt, dieses Glänzen fand ich halt so viel geiler, ne, bin ich ehrlich. Also da war ich eher echt Fan von dem helleren Blau, nicht von diesem Navy Blue halt. Aber auch hier sieht man wieder, die Nase bei dem 23er Auto. Ein Schwung, dann haben wir hier diesen kurzen Knick und dann geht die zu. Aber hier haben wir wieder so voll weird irgendwie, ich weiß auch nicht. Na klar, diese roten und weißen Streifen, die sind aber so dezent, die fallen gar nicht auf. Sonst, wie gesagt, sehr schade, der schwarze Halo mittlerweile. Hier hat man noch den Glänz Halo, da merkt man wieder, es fällt immer mehr Farbe weg. Bin ich auch kein Fan von, wenn ich ehrlich sein soll. Aber die Seitenansicht in dem alten Auto und dem neuen Auto, es ist ja jetzt basically nichts so Unterschiedliches. Wie gesagt, die Batterie, die Duracell-Batterie oben haben wir immer noch. Ansonsten, der Flügel hat an Farbe, der Heckflügel hat Farbe verloren. Es sind jetzt gefühlt ein paar mehr Sponsor auf dem Auto drauf. Zumindest hier so große Sponsor. Da hast du hier gar nichts von gehabt. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, wer da noch dazu kam, wer davon wegging oder so. Aber das ist natürlich immer gut. Das spürt Geld in die Kassen von Williams. Das ist natürlich nie was schlechtes Geld. Aber ansonsten ist der Wagen halt basically same. Ich finde es ein bisschen schade, dass er nicht mehr so glänzend ist. Mir hat das Livery besser gefallen. Auch wenn ich das Simplere hier, mir das lieber ist. So simpel sollte es, wenn hier noch so ein Strich durch ist, da noch so ein Strich durch ist. Hier vorne dieser Zacken in der Nase drin war. Weiß ich nicht, Digga. Aber das hellere Design aber besser gefallen als das dunklere Design. Deswegen, sagen wir mal, bei Haas haben wir eine 5 von 10 gewählt, weil es basically dasselbe Design war. Und da habe ich das ein bisschen noch, das hat mir das noch ein bisschen mehr gefallen. Ich würde hier mal sagen, eine 4 von 10. Mir hat halt das letztes Jahr schon deutlich besser gefallen, das Livery. Was mich aber jetzt noch interessiert, wir müssen noch unbedingt einen Blick auf das Lenkrad werfen. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, wo man es sehen kann. Ich nehme den Sound dafür leise. Ob man es überhaupt sehen kann. Aber spätestens halt in der Einsicht vom Halo. Man es eigentlich ja sehen können. Also, so eine Top-Down-Perspektive halt quasi, ne? Ja, ist geil, ist, wenn ich ehrlich bin, die Perspektive. Ganz kurz. Gott. Mal muten. Ich will halt einen Blick auf das Lenkrad erhaschen. Da einmal reingewackelt. Komm schon. Okay, da hast du gar nichts gesehen, original. Vielleicht ja bei dem ersten. Sieht man es auch noch mal ein bisschen klarer. Ah, toll. Das ist gar nicht ein Just Halo.
The ever-evolving livery features a vibrant color transition from new era Williams to heritage navy blue.
Das ist aber, oder? Jetzt bin ich mir nicht sicher, scheiße.
Vibrant color transition from new era Williams to heritage navy.
Das ist aber wieder ein gebogenes, ne? Also ich würde sagen, das ist wieder gebogen, damit man hier halt auf das Display gucken kann. Ich sehe aber jetzt halt auch kein Display da, obwohl da ist irgendwas. Aber ich glaube, das sieht so aus, als wäre das Lenkrad wieder gebogen. Also gebogen halt ohne das Display, was dann hier im Chassis drin ist. Ach, das sah sehr danach aus.
Inspired by the historic Williams machines of the 1980s and 90s. No wonder that Komatsu were back as a partner for the first time since the 1990s. They join MyProtein, Gulf Oil, Duracell, Kraken, Stevens.
Ah, mein Fuß ist eingeschlafen.
And Vast Data, amongst others, on this iconic team's journey.
Darlington ist jetzt weg als Sponsor, ne? Ah, schade, haben wir jetzt leider nicht gesehen, aber so wie das jetzt aussah, war das alte Lenkrad. Finde ich gut. Das ist derselbe Einspieler wie gerade eben? Ich glaube schon, ne? Ja, ist derselbe Einspieler wie gerade eben. Ja, wie gesagt, also ich fand den glänzenden Wagen besser, sonst ist es dasselbe Auto. 4 von 10. Gut, dann wechseln wir jetzt noch schnell zum Sauber-Launch. Der soll da dauert keine 40 Minuten, den kann man jetzt ein bisschen skippen erstmal. Ja, es wird grün, das wissen wir aber auch. Aber jetzt Ton? Ja, wir müssten eigentlich Ton haben, aber ich höre nichts. Kommt was. Moment, bevor wir jetzt weitermachen. Digga, dabei konnten wir auch ruhig bleiben, das war schon okay.
A sharp turn from convention. A new formula for Formula One. A 355 km/h cannonball revving at the starting line. Conform? Nah, this is racing. Pure, unadulterated speed. A sport inherently designed to test the boundaries
auch halbe
of
Stunde
evolution,
circa.
to push
Immer noch hin.
beyond conventional thought.
Am Zeit heute
Some
Abend.
that raise a thin line between chaos and control, or get left in the dust. If you thought, even for a second, this was about fitting in, let us set the record straight. We're here to unleash a new era, the Stake F1 team. A storm thundering at your doorstep, giving voice.
Ich will nicht, dass mir jemand die Farbe grün wegnimmt. Ach, das scheiße alles. Wir werden uns wohl oder übel eine neue Farbe überlegen müssen.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. How are you guys feeling tonight? Good? More noise?
Ist ein bisschen dunkel da, ne? Kann man das Licht
We've
anmachen?
already run out of champagne, so you guys are clearly having a great time so far. Well, what an incredible setting this is tonight for this launch event. I'm your host, Naomi Schiff, and by now you've probably noticed that things around here feel a little bit different. Now that's because this isn't another car launch event for another rebranded Formula One team. We're bringing to life a new identity for one of the most established and well-respected teams
Ja,
in
das
Formula
sagen sie
One
alle.
history. Now known as Stake F1 team. This isn't
Sauber.
your granddad's Formula One team.
Hier, ein
Here,
Teleprompter.
they do things differently. So as you enjoy the food and the drink and formulate your opinions, I hear Lawrence is in the room. This is going to be flashier than your shoes. Chris, I'm sure that everybody cannot wait to hear your opinions on Twitter. But try to take a moment to understand.
Das heißt nicht mehr
what's really
Twitter.
happening here. Because this is about opportunity. It's about
Gott, ich kotze mich gerade selber an.
This is about the future. The Stake F1 team is not trying to get your attention because, quite frankly, they already have it. This moment is about showing you what they're all about. The sexiest partners in the F1 paddock have a hot new car, the C44. Now tonight, you'll not only get to see it for the first time, but tonight also marks the beginning of something much bigger than that. Tonight, the Stake F1 team unleashes a new...
Was mich ja unfassbar triggert. Es geht mir die ganze Zeit schon auf den Sack. Wer schafft es da? Da sind Fotografen gerade in diesem Raum. Wer ist der eine Hurensohn, der es nicht hinbekommt, seinen scheiß Blitz auszumachen? Oh, es würde mir so auf den Sack gehen, wenn ich da vorne stehen würde. Es geht mir schon das Zuschauer auf den Sack. Achso, wir müssen übrigens die Farbe mal gerade ändern. Moment. Es würde mir so auf den Nerv gehen, wenn da die ganze Zeit einer hängt mit seinem scheiß Blitz.
New brand. One that is fierce, one that is passionate and full of sizzle. And once they're out of the box, there is no turning back. So things are about to change, so settle in as a giant stakes their claim in the greatest motorsport in the world. Here to help usher in this new era, please welcome the Stake F1 team. So, Team Representative Alessandro
Liveries. Nicht Liveries, aber Anzüge. Oder? Sind das die? Ja, das sind die. Ah doch, ja doch, so sind die Racesuits.
And of course, your 2024 drivers for Stake F1, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. Welcome everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
But this is an exciting night for all of us. The new C44 in this special location, I think, is the new era that starts, and we are excited to start the journey together with all of you.
Now, the transition to becoming the new Stake F1 team is all about adopting an attack mentality. So the word unleashed is something that we keep hearing. It's what we're talking about. What exactly does that mean, Alessandro?
You know, unleashed is not just a word. Unleashed is a mantra that incorporates our brand essence. We want to be innovative. We want to be fresh. And this is about culture in our team, to instill the right mentality, to become a stronger team. But of course, we want to be creative, innovative. We want to have this ingenuity approach that is very important. This is something that will be, of course, translated in all our activities, starting from tonight.
Now, the change is something that we've been teased with over the last couple of weeks. We're about to see more about it tonight, but I'd love to know, this change, how does it permeate from the top to the bottom of the team?
It's a pervasive change, of course, that will pervade every area of our team. We have a new team identity, meaning a new way to communicate, to present ourselves, to speak to our partners, to speak to our fans and to the entire F1 community. But it's also the way we see our team in the future. We want not to be an underdog in F1. We want to compete, and this determination is shown today.
Fantastic. Well, coming to you drivers, Valtteri, to you first. Flashy new hairstyle. It's going to be flashy new colors for this team. Thank you, first of all, for getting dressed for this event, because we know, the internet has seen a lot of you. Do you think you'll be faster in green?
Absolutely. We'll be so much faster in green. I mean, like Alessandro said, it's really exciting new era for the team, and really can't wait to obviously get to reveal the car, but then eventually get behind the wheel. It's exciting.
Well, it's no secret that last year was a challenging one for the team and for yourself as well. How would you say this downtime and this reset period has really prepared you for what's ahead this year?
It was a hard season last year, and we all want more than that. And what I've seen so far at the factory, the motivation, the spirit ahead of all these new things, looks good, and that makes me also even more excited, for the year ahead. But quite a few changes here and there. You'll see also with the car. So I think we're definitely now on the right way.
Well, we're not long from seeing the car, but Zhou, I want to come to you first. Fashion is something that we know you take seriously. How is this new brand working for you then?
Yeah, firstly, good evening, everyone. But I don't have a lot of green collection on my wardrobe, so I'm going to have a bit more, not yet, a bit more merch this year for sure. But it's a new chapter, new identity for the team, so I'm really excited to taking on board in this journey, so going to be a good one.
Well, I think everybody is excited to see you take another step forward this season. So how have you equipped yourself to live up to those expectations, I guess?
You know, there's a lot of effort put into the previous 2 years. The first 2 seasons, I tried to learn as much as I could of, all the experience, knowledge is such a big thing in Formula One. And then last season it's been a tough one, but we really learned a lot throughout this, let's say, tricky moment and set our target very clear ahead for where we want to reach this season. Yeah, so far it's been, getting into the information with the engineer group, going through all the data, making sure all the details is in exactly the right possible spot possible. And then, just can't wait to, let's say, put myself into extracted more potential out of me, more potential of the car, and hitting the results on track. So Bahrain is going to be so exciting.
Absolutely, not long to go until Bahrain. Alessandro, coming back to you, we know that last season the margins between teams was getting smaller and smaller as the year went by. So with no major rule changes this year, how do you plan to take this team forward with this new brand image?
Formula One is one of the most demanding environment on the world. So the challenge is big.
Ach, das Rennen in China findet statt? Okay, krass. Aber bis jetzt noch, ne? Schauen wir mal, ne?
Hard during all the winter to improve every area. It's not just about the car, and you will see, and James Key will give you more insight, all the work that is being done to improve every single details of the car. But we are working hard to improve our race team operation, to improve our development time. Every area has been addressed, and we think that we have made a step, but as Joe said, we will see the result of our work only in Bahrain, because all the other teams have been working hard. But, we made our job, but we need to do our job each day, starting from Bahrain until the last race of the season.
Talking about this work, drivers, I want to come back to you. We have to acknowledge all the hard work that's going on back at Hinwil. How has it been working with your designers, engineers, and teammates back in Switzerland? Valtteri, you first.
In this sport, every year you become...
Ich will das nur kurz einwerfen, ja? Nur ganz kurz, geht schnell, ist schmerzlos. See no difference. Es ist halt so, Alter. What the fuck? Wie geil ist das denn? Es ist halt 1:1 dieselbe Person, so. The fuck? Bin stark. Wollte ich nur kurz einwerfen.
Stronger as a team if you allow yourself to, and if you allow to learn from any mistakes or things that you can do better. Yeah. And I feel really like starting again this year with the team for third year in a row. I think we've become even more welded together. We understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. I think we've been able to make some good progress together with the engineering team, and you'll see with the car as well. It's definitely evolved a lot. So it's really like I mentioned earlier, it's a great spirit. It's good to be back, and now it's soon go time.
Fantastic, Joe. It's your third year with the team now. How has it been evolving?
It's been, let's say, a massive learning curve for me, because as a young driver arriving to Formula One, I don't understand how much drivers really have to input into this whole, let's say, team spirit sports. And then from year 1 to year 2, just the way how I'm communicating with my engineer on and off track, together also with my teammates, is being, let's say, just a gradually gain for me. And then people can set, let's say, more clear, straightforward target, which is such an important part in terms of development during the season, also, where you're heading for the future of the team.
Well, you mentioned the word spirit there. How would you say you would define the team spirit as we head into this new season?
It's been very high motivation, as we see, especially this year with this new identity, and this color is so bright, and for us, gives us, let's say, a new chapter opening. And then also, during last season, there's a lot of changes, having Andreas James coming to the team. And then this year they're going to be having their first full season working together with the Sauber group back in Hinwil. So I'm fully trusting this kind of project and where the team is heading to. So just going to give it my all.
Fantastic. Valtteri, any words on the spirit of the team?
Yeah, it's great. Spirit is good. Honestly, I think, after everyone had little bit of time off, managed to process.
Kann ich's nicht ungesehen machen, ne?
Everyone is ready for the fresh start, and it's not going to be down to the lack of spirit. I can tell you that.
Anything to add, Alessandro, to that?
But as you know, we have this group together with Walter and Joe from the last 2 years. We enter into a third season. We always value stability, and I think that each year we can learn and improve. And so the spirit this year, together with all our employees, is to do the next step. And I think we have all the people and the drivers to make this step happen.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we'd love to talk to the Stake F1 team all night long, but this team is about more than just talk. They're about action, and a lot of it, from what I hear. Tonight, we're going to unleash the beast, the C44. The symbol of a new movement in Formula One.
Klatschgrün bitte,
the machine that will
komplett.
help this team defy the odds this season and beyond.
Aber cool wär's.
Welcome to a new chapter in the team's Formula One history. One that is truly unleashed.
Ja, give it to me. Come on, do it. Just do it. Galgenmikro im Weg. Okay, das ist schon mal nicht grün als Primärfarbe, das ist ein bisschen schade. Aber vielleicht ist auch alles andere außer die Side. Dingsbumse. Sidepods. Grün. Warum jetzt war es nicht so spannend?
How do you change the world? By changing inside. And then showing the world what you got. It's time for a new movement. Tear down your walls and unleash yourself.
So, jetzt einer mit dem Lichtschalter drücken und dann auf das Ding. Ihr dürft, Jungs, der Countdown ist schon abgelaufen. Okay, das ist mehr grün, als ich erwartet habe. Hallo, Hübschi. Oh, ist keine 10 von 10, aber ist geil.
You can make more noise than that. Come on.
Oh, ist der geil. Vorne 10 von 10, die Nase.
For me, it's amazing. The colors, really aggressive, really distinguished. I think that this is a testament of intent of what we are, what we want to be. And I think that...
Die Nase, 10 von 10. Was mich stört, ist die Ecke hier. Warum? Du hättest einfach ein Grün machen können vom Heck, was hier so reingreift und mit dem Schwarz überschwimmt, so mehr oder weniger, so eingeht quasi, ne? Dann 10 von 10 Livery. Absolut, brauche ich nicht drüber nachdenken. Aber die Ecke hier stört mich. Die ist scheiße. Die stört mich richtig.
This car
richtig.
will be really, you know, something different on track. We cannot wait to see racing, especially during night race. What do you think, Valtteri? Joe, do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Schön glänzendes Schwarz.
Big thumbs up?
Yeah, very fresh in colorway, so...
Fantastic. Well, this team new area has...
Oh, die Nase, Alter. Boah, die ist
So what are the
sexy.
objectives for the team with this new car?
But we have clear targets. We want to improve. You know, we want to deliver a better performance on track. But I think together with our partners, a Stake F1 team, we want also to elevate the F1, the experience in F1 of our fans, of our partners.
Sehen die gerade das Auto auch zum ersten Mal? Oder?
On the sporting side,
Wirkt irgendwie so, ne?
in other areas. We want to
Bei der Probe, okay, Leute, ihr müsst so tun, als wärt ihr überrascht von dem Auto. Tut so. Ich finde es auch geil, dass das hier, also die Felge, dass das ein Roulette-Tisch ist. Das finde ich übel geil.
Deliver a better job. I think we have all the elements and we want to establish a stake F1
aber der Frontflügel, Alter. Schmeckt.
Into the F1 community.
Der ist sexy.
Joe, this is going to be your vessel throughout the season. How do you think this new car and the new team identity is going to propel you to new heights?
I think every year you have to build a new relationship with your machinery, and you have to adapt a little bit, finding your confidence with either the weakness or the highs. And for me, I think firstly we have to wait for the car in Barcelona for the TV day, how it feels, get the first taste of it, and then Bahrain is where we're going to do all the little details of setup, balance work, and can't wait to get it all started this season.
Valtteri, what about you? When you hear about all the work that's gone into this car, and of course you've been an integral part of that, but now that you lay your eyes on it, how inspired are you to help this team take the step forward?
It's always really inspiring to, see the car for the first time and eventually then coming alive, and knowing how much work goes into the whole process from such a long time ago, from so many talented people. It's really inspiring, and for me it's got to be super motivating to try and make most out of it, try and get good results and keep things up. So can't really wait to get on track.
Neither can we. Alessandro, we already talked a little bit about why this new partnership is so exciting, but what else makes this rebrand that exciting?
As you know, Formula One is an ultimate platform, and with Stake, with all our partners, we have international brands that are leading companies in their market sector. We have an exciting new chapter to start together. It's exciting to write this new chapter with different languages, to reach new targets and to use our tool to establish ourselves with this new team identity. The excitement is always there when you start a new journey, especially in Formula One. We have seen such a big growth during this season, so we cannot wait to start the season in Bahrain and to see where we will be.
Well, the new look of this car and the new version of this car is finished, but the journey for this team truly is just starting to begin. So when you think about Stake and its philosophy and how they challenge the status quo, how exactly does that manifest itself?
Stake has challenged the status quo in all, the activities they have done. And we want to challenge the status quo in Formula One together with them. I think that this partnership brings to Formula One a big added value. We will help Formula One as well to expand our fan base. We will help Formula One to adapt languages to the new audience that we are reaching together with the new venues we are going to race. So I think that this partnership, the Stake F1 team, will be for all the F1 community a really genuine and strong partner and stakeholder.
Fantastic. Drivers, any last thoughts out there on the catwalk?
Let's go racing.
Yeah, let's go.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining me on the stage, gentlemen. Thank you.
Der ist sexy. Nur halt dieses stört. Dann wieder lieber dieses Heck, was klatschgrün ist und dann so verschwimmt im Schwarz. Dann 10 von 10.
As we gaze upon the chariot that will lead a rebellion in Formula One. To create this beautiful machine, the team shook every last nut and bolt out on the table and started.
Die Qualität ist irgendwie ein bisschen scheiße mittlerweile.
Now it's time to find out what is beneath the surface. So let's take a deeper look at how the C44 came to be.
Our journey begins long before the wheels hit the tarmac. It starts with the design, the birthplace of greatness, where ideas ignite and dreams take shape. In production, perfection is etched into every fiber, every bolt, forging a masterpiece of its own. Then in the assembly room, a new car takes on its final form, Each part carrying the indomitable spirit of each and every one of its creators, prepared for the fight ahead. This is not just a car, it's a manifestation of our collective will, a symbol of determination, resilience, and the relentless drive for greatness. This is our legacy, our journey. This is who we are, and we are ready to unleash it upon the world.
Well, that was a fascinating look at the brand new C44. Now, to talk to me a little bit more about how the car came to life, please join me in welcoming the Stake F1 Team Technical Director, James Key. James, welcome and congratulations. It's great to see you here since you were at the team last 12 years ago, was it? 12 years ago, wow. Well, how has this fresh new start inspired the direction change in this car?
I mean, there's a lot new this year, this wonderful livery for starters, but on a personal level, it's a fresh start in a sense going back to a place I recognise, many colleagues I recognise, but a much bigger team with a lot of new faces as well. And I think with the opportunity we have with this car, with the team and its aspirations and its positive approach right now in the factory, it feels like a fresh start actually, and we're looking forward to it.
And it sounds like it feels like you're coming home.
Absolutely, and I'm delighted to be there. It's great to be back in Himwell.
Fantastic. Well, the C44 apparently is not just a car, but it's also a symbol of the shared determination and a constant pursuit for greatness in the team. So how has this car been a marked change from its predecessor?
I mean, the car is very different to last year. I think if you look at a picture of the two overlaid, and maybe, sort of in a few weeks' time we'll be able to do that once we're running, it's a very, very different car. Externally, you can see the aerodynamics is more refined, it's more aggressive. There are mechanical changes under the skin as well as visible. There are many conceptual changes which aren't so obvious. So I think when you compare the two, you can see this is actually a very different car, not just an evolution of what we did last year.
Okay, well, the beast has been unleashed, but I think we shouldn't be scared of it. Let's get a little bit closer and take a look at this car up close. Now, James, I'd love you to take me through some of the specific changes of this car from both an aerodynamic and mechanical perspective.
Okay, so fundamentally the aerodynamic concept is very different, really, in many respects. Again, you can see the aggressive approach we've taken compared to last year. We'll run through this in a bit more detail in a second, but basically the whole thing has been a great teamwork effort on the basis that we've done a huge amount of packaging work, a lot of mechanical work to allow us to be more aggressive and future-proof for future developments as well. So I think if you took the hood off, you'd see a wonderfully packaged car that's allow us to be aggressive with the bodywork, and it's the same at the front with aspects of the front suspension.
Now, something that is visible over here, I mean, I'm no engineer, but what I can see is definitely taken a new direction, is the front suspension. Talk me through it.
Okay, so the front suspension is very new. Mechanically, it's a compromise. You never design this if you are a front suspension designer just designing a suspension for its own right. But we've gone for this suspension leg here. I think you can see it on the screen as well.
Yes.
That's a pull rod, and that's the way you actuate the springs and the dampers and the other mechanisms inside the tub here in front of us. That way of doing things is not nice mechanically. So you typically have a push rod which goes in the opposite direction and connects at the top of the chassis. So why have we done it? We've done it because it's better for aerodynamics, and it basically shows more than ever really with these current generation of cars that suspension geometry is very much an aerodynamic device as well as something which just holds the wheels on and connects you to the springs and dampers. So that was a tough mechanical project, and I have to hand it to the team. That all happened before I arrived. I have to hand it to the team. They've done a fantastic job because that's not an easy thing to do, and we've achieved it for this car.
Well, by the sound level in this room, it sounds like the car's definitely got the audience talking. Not sure what they're talking about, but I hope it's about this car.
Okay, ich dachte, das wäre einfach die beschissene Audioqualität, aber nee, das sind wirklich einfach nur die Trottel, die da am Rumbrüllen sind in der Crowd, Alter.
Had Formula One audiences talking back when this regulation was introduced.
Das gerade war ein indirekter Shot, dass sie mal die Fresse halten sollen. Ne?
We saw no pods, we didn't know what was going on. Talk to me about the thinking behind the bodywork here.
Okay, so this is a floor and a bodywork formula. So it's a ground effect car, so you generate a lot of your downforce from the floor, of course. But believe it or not, even though it doesn't look like it, the bodywork interacts very strongly with the floor. So what we saw is in 22, when these kind of style of cars first came out, we saw a diverse array of bodywork ideas, trying to exploit that as much as possible. It's began to boil down to something, I think, a little bit more, let's say, commonplace across the grid. We saw themes developing last year. And our bodywork, if we look at the side pods here, for example, is following that theme, but in a much more aggressive way than we were last year. It's much more 3D. It interacts with the floor in a different way. Great teamwork to get the packaging required to allow us to find all these volumes that we can exploit. And in fact, by the first race, we're going to see different shapes in this area. It's an area which is developing quickly, so it will be along these lines, but already it will have changed by even the first race.
Very interesting. Well, I'm going to pick you back up on that one in a little second. But firstly, I'd love to talk about what's beneath the skin. I mean, the surface is beautiful. The shapes look different. But what is beneath the surface that we need to know about?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's easy to talk about aerodynamics because we can see it. And, of course, it's a fundamental part of the performance of a car. But a lot of what allows that to happen is what is underneath the bodywork. But, of course, there's mechanical developments as well. So, like I said, if you took the hood off this car, you'd see a gearbox, which is along the lines of what we did last year, with a few tweaks in certain areas to adapt to what the new car needs. Our colleagues at Ferrari providing the engine. But Ford of that, everything is very, very different. We have a new front suspension, the way in which that works, for example, with our pull rods connecting to it, but the internals, the springs, the dampers, the rockers, all the mechanisms which allow the car to ride and set its ride height and so on. That is a totally different approach, and it looks to be quite a good one from what we can see in our simulation work so far. Like I said, the packaging of this area, which is predominantly electronic systems, engine systems in the side pod, that's really brave to go that small but still have it working, so the numbers stack up. Really, really brave and very intricate work's gone in there. And then as we work towards the back, it's a similar approach with moving things around, redeveloping things to allow us to package the car in such a way. So there will be some mechanical developments in this season as well. But the biggest one, I think, is the fact that the architecture of the car has changed to complement the aero, and the front suspension is very different.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to pick you back up on what you said earlier. You said that by the first race, this car might already be looking slightly different to what it does today. Development race. We all tune in to watch the race on track, but we know that there is a very important
Gefühlt wird die Audioqualität doch immer beschissener mit der Zeit.
What can we expect this year, quite frankly? We saw some outliers last year making real gains. Tell us what's ahead.
I think there's two paths to that, because we don't often talk about it. We watch races, but we don't talk about what's happening behind the scenes. It's a war with development. It's a brutal, ruthless environment to be in. You're pushing out 24/7 the next steps, the new ideas. It's ongoing. It doesn't stop. And, of course, once you got to the point where you're stopping for the current car, you're already onto next year's car and you're pushing the boundaries even further as best you can. So I suspect this year we'll continue to see a lot of development. The grid began to converge a lot in the second half of the season. It was super close at the end of the year, which means little steps can make a big difference. So it's going to be another aggressive year. It does present opportunities, but that works both ways, of course, so we've got to be a bit careful. And I think for us, we're going into the season with the most aggressive approach we can. So we will have new parts for race one. We'll have more new parts in those first handful of races to try and steal a march in our competitors if we can. But it's going to be a year-long thing. Like last year, it's going to be a real battle for the whole year, I think.
Well, we're absolutely anticipating what's to come. Now, thank you very much, James, for joining me on stage. Everybody, James Key. Good luck this season. Okay, everybody. You guys have kept it quiet all night. Thank you very much for that. Great audience. Hi. Okay, well, let's just give one more shining moment to the gorgeous C44.
Ich glaube, sie ist auch ein bisschen abgefuckt davon, dass sie die Schnauze nicht halten kann. Oh, aber die Nase, holy shit. Also wirklich das komplette Teil von hier oben, von dem Lenkrad an bis nach unten ist 10 von 10 sexy. Ist einfach so. Ich liebe die Farbe grün, ich liebe schwarz. Ich liebe diese Nase. Das Heck mit dem klatschgrünen Heckflügel. Ist doch selten, dass der tatsächlich eine komplette Farbe hat, weil wie gesagt, Farbe, Gewicht, schlecht, ne? Alles, was mich halt stört, ist dieser Knick. Wie gesagt, hätte man das Heck so bis hierhin komplett grün auch gemacht und dann halt so ein bisschen wie das bei Mercedes vom Schwarz ins Silber wieder übergegangen ist oder vom Silber in Schwarz, weiß ich nicht ganz genau, vor ein paar Jahren, glaube ich, vorletztes Jahr oder so, da noch mit den Sternen drin und so. Wenn das dann so halt übergegangen wäre, das wäre halt Killer gewesen. Dann wäre das 10 von 10 Livery gewesen. Das hier stört mich jetzt und sorgt dafür, dass es nur eine 9 von 10 ist, aber es ist trotzdem der Hammer. Wenn die Karre jetzt auch noch was reißt, wäre das noch besser. Aber, weiß ich nicht. Wir haben halt nicht so große Reglementänderungen, ne? Deswegen kann man eigentlich keine Wunder erwarten. Außer halt durch Geld von neuen Sponsoren. Ich meine, dass Kick mittlerweile ein relativ dicker Sponsor ist. Und noch erstaunlich wenig auf dem Auto drauf. Also ich sehe den nur unten auf der Nase. Und halt die Farbe. Okay, aber sonst habe ich hier noch keinen Kick gesehen. Nicht mal auf den Dings. Auf den Rennanzügen.
Okay. Well, there you have it. You have just witnessed the first glimpse at the Stake F1 team's new brand in
Sauber.
action. Stake has revolutionized the market in gaming, lifestyle and entertainment, and they have already become a case study for how to activate in Formula One through their exciting partnership with this team. So they've shown you their car, they've told you what they're about, and strap in everybody because they are just getting started. Stake F1 team has arrived, and good luck keeping your eyes off of them. Thank you to the Stake F1 team drivers Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu, team representative Alessandro Aluni-Bravi, and technical director James Key. We must also thank the two people responsible for making tonight happen, Stake co-founders Edward Craven and Bijan Tarani. So thank you for this amazing night. And of course, we have to thank you, our wonderful audience tonight, and of course everybody tuning in at home tonight. So, the cage is open. Stake F1 team is now officially unleashed.
Okay. Also ich glaube, es ist alles gesagt tatsächlich. Ich werde es nicht Stake F1 Team nennen, es ist Sauber und damit bleibt es auch. Ich meine, was jetzt natürlich ein witziger Move wäre, wenn wir in F1 2024 halt in den Alfa Romeo gehen, ne? Weil wir in der Fahrerkarriere ein grünes Auto fahren und in der Manchmal kein grünes Auto mehr fahren. Ist mir gerade so in den Kopf gekommen. Aber wie gesagt, wenn dieser eine Knick da auf dem Heck nicht wäre, 10 von 10 Livery. So 9 von 10 Livery. Aber natürlich auch wie bei den Williams, alles meine Meinung. Da kann sich jeder, das ist absolut objektiv, wenn ich jetzt überhaupt kein Fan von der Farbe Grün wäre, hätte ich mich auch anders entschieden wahrscheinlich. Aber ich bin ein Fan von der Farbe Grün. Deswegen 9 von 10. Jawohl. So, morgen um 14:30 Uhr. Morgen um, je nachdem wann ihr jetzt guckt, am 7. Februar, Mittwoch, den 7. Februar. Um 14:30 Uhr startet die Berichterstattung über den neuen Alpine für die nächste Saison. Das kann interessant werden, weil das auch so ein Team, was mit den Farben ein bisschen spielen kann. Wir sind eher ab 14 Uhr live, planmäßig. Also starten wir dann halt das Rennen, wissen wir das Training und so. Gucken, dass wir das Rennen vielleicht durchbekommen in der halben Stunde und gehen dann halt da rein. Machen wir dann wieder in dem Rahmen des Grand Prix dann morgen. Aufgrund dafür, dass wir jetzt hier doch 1,5 Stunden gebraucht haben, tatsächlich. Und mir die Zeit ein bisschen davon rennt. Machen wir den Monaco Grand Prix auch morgen. Das macht es für alle Beteiligten einfacher. Dann sind wir wieder um 14 Uhr da. Da muss ich nicht um 19:30 Uhr jetzt in F1 rein. Hab dann auch deutlich mehr Konzentration für das Rennen, weil für Monaco brauchst du Konzentration. Würde ich sagen, dass wir den Monaco Grand Prix auf morgen verschieben. Wie ich es jetzt mit dem React mache. Ich denke mal, ich packe es trotzdem noch. Eigentlich gucken wir das ja im Rahmen eines Rennwochenendes in F1 23, in einer der Karrieren. Ich denke mal, ich packe es jetzt trotzdem einfach mit in die Playlist rein. Als halt kleiner Bonus so. Und dann machen wir ab morgen dann normal wieder weiter mit Monaco Grand Prix und dem Alpine Car Launch. Ja, würde ich sagen. Weil dann machen wir jetzt heute hier raus noch eine Giga-Session. Was ist eine Giga-Session? Vielleicht eine 8-Stunden-Session maximal. Ich mache Maximum heute bis 4 Uhr. Machen wir eine lange Session GTA raus, damit wir damit hoffentlich durchkommen. Ich meine, 8 Stunden 10 sollten wir eigentlich komplett durchkommen, aber wir schauen mal, wie die Motivation dann irgendwann noch ist. Deswegen würde ich sagen, wir beenden das Ganze hier an der Stelle mit F1. Ich hätte ganz gern selber heute, ja, ich hätte den Monaco Grand Prix gerne gefahren, aber da habe ich keine Konzentration mehr, sorry, beim besten Willen. Ich bin seit 5 Uhr heute Morgen wach. Ja, also, ist schwierig. Aber ich wollte es jetzt nicht noch weiter aufschieben, weil wir morgen 3 Präsentationen gucken müssen. Dann schiebt sich das noch weiter nach hinten und das ist ja auch alles scheiße. Wir wollen ja morgen auch ein bisschen FIFA schaffen. Aber ja, dann machen wir jetzt weiter mit GTA und verschieben den Monaco Grand Prix dann auf morgen. Das macht es für mich persönlich einfacher. Super, aber wie gesagt, bei dem nochmal kurz Review passieren lassen. Der Williams kriegt eine 4,5. Ich mochte das helle Blau lieber. Basically ist es aber fast dasselbe Livery, deswegen nur eine 4,5. Beim Haas haben wir für dasselbe Livery quasi eine 5 von 10 gegeben. Hier gibt es für den Williams eine 4,5 und ganz ehrlich, der Sauber kriegt von mir eine 9 von 10. Ich liebe Grün, ich liebe Schwarz, ich liebe diese Front von dem Auto. Einzige, was halt einen Punkt Abzug bekommt, ist der Knick drin. Hätte ich besser gemacht, hätte ich anders gemacht, aber es ist ja wie gesagt alles objektiv und der grüne Heckflügel ist einfach nur mega geil. Vor allem, weil du es selten heutzutage siehst, weil der Heckflügel echt schwer ist und dass der wohl komplett in Farbe getaucht ist, ist krass. Und jetzt, nachdem die Karre so krass als Biest angekündigt haben, hoffentlich reißt sie auch irgendwas, weil sonst wäre das ein bisschen mäh. Aber wie gesagt, ich habe da ein bisschen Angst vor, weil unsere Motorenreglements sind nicht so großartig anders. Also kann man eigentlich, abgesehen von erhöhten Sponsorengeldern, keine großartigen Änderungen erwarten. Aber naja, gut. Das war der Williams und der Sauber für die Saison 2024.